Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Scientific approach to life leads to dissection of life. When dissections are carried out, destruction is guaranteed. And therefore, if we want to live our life scientifically, we are bound to get destroyed. And yet, we must know the science of life so that we lead the life as it should be lived. Keeping this in view, we have been thinking for last 10 sessions about the scientific art of living. Art is not an expression of science. See how important it is. You must have seen the real genius artists, not those one who go to the teacher and learn. They are banavati artists, they are made. The real artist is a born artist. I have seen one artist, I don't think he is now available. Such an insignificant person doesn't know even calculations or drawings, nothing. He was told that we have to make a huge statue of about 30 feet, Hanumanji, sitting in a Vajrasana. So show us the model. And from that model, it is magnified to that size. He said, okay. There itself, before everybody, he took the clay which he has carried with him, and within 10-15 minutes, is it the way you wanted? And we were shocked. Everything was so perfectly proportionate. And then, how will you make it so big? He said, like I made this, I will make that. Now, what is the scale that you use? He said, I don't use scale. See how important it is. It just comes from within. So, when we are able to look at the life, not with the calculations of logic and reason, but when we are able to feel, experience the divinity in and through every experience of our life, then we have known the science of life, and thereafter we live the life most scientifically. And for that, it is necessary that we have to undergo the cataract operation. Our problem is not anywhere outside. Our problem is in our instrument of perception. We have already decided to see something in this world, and that alone we see. We don't see the world as it is. We have decided to see the friends. We have decided to see the enemy. We have decided to see the wealth. We have decided to see the holiness. We have decided to see the unholiness. And with those goggles of biasness, when we look at the world, it is the most unscientific way of looking at the world. So without changing one's own vision, If we want to live our life scientifically, it is going to be a flop show. See, when it comes to achievement in the scientific field, material science, we don't require to undergo any change in our attitude. A good doctor need not be a good person. See, on the contrary, he should not be a good person. Because if a doctor is a good person, then he cannot be a good doctor. He will be all the time suffering because he will cure the patients. There was one father who was having a roaring practice and he made his son a doctor. And the son was trained. And one day the son said, "Dad, now you deserve a good vacation. Go for a month or two around the world wherever you want. I'll take care of the practice. Don't worry." So the father doctor was very happy. He and his wife went for a long vacation for a month. And after 1 month, they came back. And the proud son said, "Dad, you will be proud of me." "Yes, my dear son. What is the great thing that you have done that I'll be proud of you?" "All those patients which were rotting for last many years, I have cured them all and they are released." So the father said, "My dear fool, who told you that patients are to be cured? They have to be maintained if you have to live. That is scientific practice of medicine." See? Therefore, if you want to be scientific in our approach in the material science, you don't have to undergo any change. Continue to be the same wretched, rotting thinking process and earn a lot. It doesn't require any inner change. Friends, but if we really want to make a change in ourselves, then we have taken a totally different path, and that path is what we are discussing. So, in the first 6 chapters, the teacher told us the basic thing. Focus your attention on yourself for the purpose of purification. So, the first chapter tells the impurity in us. What is the impurity? The impurity of confused existence with identity crisis. That is the impurity. Now this impurity is to be cleaned away from the 2nd chapter to the 6th chapter by proper adjustment of your lifestyle and your attitude towards life. For that, whatever are the techniques, those techniques are enumerated in the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th chapter. And thus you are slowly becoming purer and purer inside, so that you are able to look at the world with a changed focal length. An impure person, when he looks at the world, his perceptions are different. When a pure person looks at the world, his perceptions are different. See how important it is. So, the first approach in our life on the foundation of the scientific way of living is first purify yourself. Now, second thing. How do you know that you have purified yourself? Nobody has any doubt about his own goodness. I'm so good, people don't understand me, I'm so nice. I never hurt anybody. But people get hurt, what can I do? See? So how do we know that we have really purified ourselves inside? That is seen if we are able to see something different in this world than the average people. Take an example. An ignorant person sees the apple falling, picks up the apple, polishes it and eats it away. But when a Newton looks at the same phenomena, he sees something different. An impure person, when he looks at the world, his perceptions are different. And when a pure person is looking at the same world, his perceptions are different. This change in perception is the second 6 chapters of Gita that we are studying. Now what is that change in perception? Now this whole world is nothing but an expanse of your own inner beauty. See? When we are able to look at the world as an expansion of your own being, then you are bound to have unconditional love for the world. And friends, where love is born, science disappears. There is no science of love. There is an art of love, isn't it? There is no science. The moment you will bring science in love, you will start evaluating and trying to assess. There was one daughter and a mother. So the mother told the daughter, look here, today is Sunday and I am really tired. You should help me today. So do the dishes. Our servant has not come. Clean the house. Nobody is there. And we have to dust the furniture. Everything. So she did everything very nicely, meticulously. And when she went to sleep and the mother went to sleep, on mother's pillow there was a slip. Dear mom, I have washed the dishes, 20 rupees. I have dusted the furniture, 10 rupees. I have done these things, a total bill of 150 rupees. So, the mother, because the girl was scientific, very analytical. So, in that analytical approach, she has written this thing systematically and left. So, the mother pinned that much amount and also wrote, last 15 years, I have taken care of you for these. She also enumerated equal number of items, 10 to 10. And for each bill, 0. And the total is, darling, I love you. And you have given a bill of 150, but in that you have made a mistake. It should have been 175. So I am adding that 25 rupees additional because you made a mistake. I should not cheat you. See? And when that child got up in the morning, hey, my money has come. And when he sees that note, so much the mother has done, she has not calculated. Friends, where love is, calculations fail. But when we talk scientifically, we are all the time analytical. And where there is analysis without synthesis, it is destruction. So up to the 10th chapter of Gita, from the 7th chapter onwards, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is doing the analysis of the whole world. And what is the analysis? In each and every object that you come in contact, try to discover the divine presence. Raso hamapsu kaunteya, Prabhasmi Shashisudeyoho. Hey Kuntiputra Arjun, discover my presence in the water in the form of the ability to taste. Discover my presence in the sun and the moon in the form of the light. And thus, in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan gives the essence of everything as the Lord. The sun without light is not a sun. So the essence of the sun is Paramatma. See how important it is. And in this manner, slowly, the analysis is directed to be ultimately leading to a synthesis. So now the student is developing a faculty. When I take a glass of water or I take a cold drink, the first thing, if it comes in my mind, that I am having a direct contact with the divine reality. What will happen? Whenever we receive something as divine, our mind undergoes a total change. And what is the change? Change is fulfillment, contentment, feeling blessed. And when that becomes our natural state, you will be happy in this world, not because of the world, but in spite of the world. This is called as prasada buddhi. So to develop that prasada buddhi, the 7th chapter inaugurates this topic of helping us to see the divine presence in and through everything in this world. Then in the 8th chapter, again the teacher takes up the same theme because of some digression Arjuna has asked. And there he takes up the theme of the soul. That the soul residing in this body, when he does good karma, bad karma, goes to hell or heaven, etc. Now the idea behind that is very important. That there is no possibility of registering the phenomena of death as the conclusion of our life. Death is not the conclusion of life. Death is one of the stations on the journey of life. Once we understand this, that I lived before the body was born, I am living in this body and I continue to live after the body is dead or burnt away, then attention changes from this limited world to the unlimited possibility of our divine reality. Change in this attitude is most important. And that alone can take us far away from the shackles of limitation of birth and death. 8th chapter gave us this knowledge. Then in the 9th chapter, the teacher tells, see my dear student, I had told you about the soul. That the soul lived before this body was adopted. He lives in this body, and after the body is discarded, the soul continues to live. That doesn't mean that there are millions of souls according to millions of bodies. No. Then it is one absolute reality which is expressing through the total relativity. See? Like the north, the east, the west, the south. There are no different spaces. But the same one space is expressing with the conditioning of the sun as the east, the north, the south, the west, up or the down. In the same manner, one absolute reality, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina masthani sarva bhutani najaham teshu avastitaha. So that one absolute reality alone is expressing through the relativity of a soul and the conditioning and the conditioned. So, In the 9th chapter, we graduate to a higher level of understanding. What is that? When you are living in this world as a soul, the purpose of this soul to live in this world is not to get entangled in this world, but to celebrate the life that is. And what is the celebration of life? Only one. When you are able to be happy under every condition, then alone you can celebrate life. And when you are happy, be very attentive. When, this example I gave you earlier, suppose you are a husband, you go home and you are received by your wife with great love, affection and a Purna Kumbha. A Kumbhakarna can be received only with a Purna Kumbha. My dear Pippi, Pippi means Pati Parmeshwar. My dear Pippi, please come. I have been waiting for you. Every second was like millions of years. Why did you become so late? Train late aa gayi. And that time, you feel so, oh, somebody was waiting for me. Somebody has great love for me. Friends, the joy of being liked by the world is the highest joy in life. Very important. See, there is one old man and wife, his wife. Last time probably I told you, I went to some countries and there they took me to some shopping mall. Swami, you have to buy something. I said, look here, all this stuff, what you say, is available in our Bombay. What you pay here, $10, we get for 10 rupees. It is same China made, so don't attract. No, you have to take something. I said, okay. I have got few biscuits, packets. And those biscuits, I knew one particular brand that one old man likes very much. I said, anyway, I have come here and I remembered the biscuits are there. So, I selected that particular brand, bought 3-4 packets. When I came to Bombay, I gave it to him. Now, biscuit given to an old man, is it a big thing? But that old man, 85 and not out, when I gave him those biscuits, he was crying like a small child. He says, Swamiji, you are running away so many places and in that you are run and here and there. You remembered me that I like these biscuits and you got it all the way for me. See, that is called as real joy of life. The joy of life is that I wanted, I got it. No, somebody remembers me. That is the highest joy of life. Now, go ahead. Wherever you go, your presence is such that everybody is waiting for your arrival. What will be the joy? And that can happen only under one condition. When you have absolutely immaculate, pure love for the whole world. And what is absolute pure love? Absolute pure love is when you are available to anybody at a given time, 100%. 100% availability to anybody at a given moment is called as absolute love. See? And this can happen only when we have changed our vision. Whatever I come in contact in this world is nothing. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagatavyaktamurtina. What will be the experience of the ocean towards the waves? Can there be any other experience except pure love? No. And to develop this faculty, in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna analyzes the absolute versus the relative. And what was the analysis? Analysis was, we are living every moment on the plane of relativity, but never forget the absolute abode of our being. So, there is a double standard with which we have to live in this world. What is the double standard? When you are living in relativity, live absolutely relative. Means what? Don't give the status of reality to the relativity. And when you thus live, what happens? You are living your life cheerfully and joyfully because you know all this relativity is just a drama. And when you are living in this relative world as a drama on the stage of life, you are never corrupted at your absolute experience. That uncorrupted absolute experience is bliss. And when this absolute experience of being gets corrupted because of the relativity, blisters are born. See? And for that, the teacher has given us a technique. What are the technique? He has taken about 73 items, classes, clusters. And in that, he has given us a vision. See my presence in that form. Because we are obsessed with the forms. So he says, among the trees, we are all environmentalists. So, when you look at the trees, you are not able to see the divinity in all the trees. Never mind. But Ashwatha Sarva Vrukshanam. Among all the trees, the Ashwatha, the fig tree I am. The moment you look at the fig tree, the people Vruksha or whatever Vruksha, you are immediately reminded of the Lord. See, recently I had come back from Badrinath. Now, when you are simply driving there on the way, you look at Alaknanda or the Mandakini or the Bhagirathi or the Ganges. The very thought that you are traveling on the banks of the holy Ganges, which are associated with the millions of years of great tradition and culture, where all the great saints and saints have lived their life. That very experience itself gives you a total dimension of experience. The same thing you go on the Mississippi or the Nile. What are the memories there? When you know that Ugandan president, he was a terribly cruel person. He used to kill the people, take the organ that he wants to eat because he was a cannibal. And then the bodies were thrown in the river so that the crocodiles are fed. See? The association of Ganges and association of Nile. So when you look at the rivers and look at the Ganges, your mind becomes absolutely purified. Something divine descends. In this manner, in the 10th chapter, the teacher gave us not one, not two, but 73 different categories, wherein train yourself to see the divine presence. When this training was going on, Bhagavan said toward the end, Arjun, how many things shall I tell you? There is no end to my glory. This is not arrogance. This is not ego. This is a statement of fact. If the ocean says, you go and ask the ocean, ocean mama, yes. How many different types of waves you have produced so far? So ocean will start telling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. Look here, there is no end. Is it not true? No two waves are the same. Each and every wave is unique in the creation. So if you want to know my glory, the glory of the ocean is waves. The birth of the waves, the dance of the waves, and the death of the waves. All the three things are the glory of the same ocean. In the same manner, the teacher says, you want to see my glory, my dear friend, but what to tell you? Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. Hey Arjun, there is no end to the glory that I support in this world. Therefore, from the Lord's point of view, there is nothing unholy in this world. Very important. That is why when Yashoda Maiya once got fed up with Bhagwan Sri Krishna as a child, and he was taking the clay because of calcium deficiency. Scientific approach. But Yashoda Maiya was not a doctor, fortunately. Isn't it? Unfortunate children have doctors as parents. And such children, they are given dal, sabji and not namak, penicillin powder. So Yashoda Maya was only a pure mother. She got angry. Why are you eating clay all the time? And in that anger she says, were you a pig in the last life? And Bhagwan was the pig. Because Varaha avatar was his avatar only. And the Lord got surprised, frustrated. My God, probably mom has understood me. So immediately he created a delusion and the channel was changed. See? Therefore, there is no end to my glory, my expanse. And therefore, Arjun, I'll tell you a technique by which you don't have to remember the 73 examples. You will be able to see the divine presence instantaneously by default. What is that? Yad yad vibhutimat sattvam srimat urjitameva va. Wherever you see something distinct and great, in that distinction and greatness, remember, it is me who is present. See? And we have seen, Bhagavan has included everything in that. It is not that only in the Rama the Lord was existing. No, even in the Ravana the same Lord was. Dyutam chalayatamasmi. Bhagavan says, those who are playing the gambling, the art of gambling perfectly to cheat others is possible only because of the divine presence. Very important. The art of turning the sentences and winning for the client, as seen among the liars and the CAs, isn't it? That is my presence. Oh, thank God. Yes, you must thank God. Without Him, you can't even condemn anybody. So, yajja srimat urjitameva va. Whatever, something great you see in this world, that is because of my presence. And Arjun, athva, or what can I tell you? Bahunaitena kim jnatena tava Arjuna. What will you gain by knowing so many things in detail? I'll tell you one thing. What is that? The whole world is under perfect control of my will. See? Everything in this world is existing under the perfect control of the divine will. Once you accept this principle, you know what will happen? You will transcend your intellectual faculty. What is intellect? Intellect is always loggerhead with the divine will. That is intellect. And such people are constantly asking questions, logic, and analyzing, and suffering. Isn't it? I have done so much. There was one person who came and met me in Lonavala. Swamiji, I am so happy to see you. I never expected you here. I said, I am sorry, I am going. No, wait. See, now I want to ask you a question after I saw you. I said, yes, it's not your fault, it is my presence. Ask. No question is possible without me. His question was, Swamiji, I have been reading Ramcharitmanas every day for last 45 years. So what can I do? No, listen. I go to temple every day. And Hanuman Chalisa I do regularly. On Saturday, I do Hanuman Chalisa 108 times. I said, very good time pass. What else will you do? He said, no, that is not the thing. The thing is, I am doing so many things of God and yet I am suffering in life. Why? I said, because you are suffering the God. Why are you after him? Let him live himself peacefully. Now our understanding is, if I am walking the spiritual path, everything should happen according to my choice. If this is the understanding of your spirituality, you are most unscientific. Please understand. If I go and salute before the Lord, Lord will not be benefited. It is I who will be benefited. If I go and take food, it is not the mummy is benefited, it is me who is benefited. If I go and do some charity, so by that charity the world is not benefited, it is me who is benefited. ATG. Isn't it? It's so simple and so important. Therefore, what is important is, Arjun, why you worry about so many details? One thing remember. Whole world, everything is happening according to my will. Bhishasmad vatapavate, bhishodeti chandrama suryaha. Everything is under the fearing rod of the Lord. That the whole universe is in their own limits. Fire has no business to be cold. The death has no business to be merciful. No, he has to go and kill. And once we understand that everything is the divine will, what will happen? Your will disappear. Be very attentive. When your will, your desire disappears, desireless existence is absolute reality. See? And such a seeker of truth, he doesn't believe in cause and effect. I think, in the last life, I don't know what sin I had done. I had to get married to such a terrible wife. No. You are not getting a terrible wife as a result of your karma in the last life. But it is the grace of the Lord. It is anugraha. It is the grace of the Lord because of which you are married to such a terrible monster, so that you have dispassion. And when you have dispassion, then only you can have passion for the Lord. And then alone you can walk the spiritual path. See? Therefore, everything that happens in this world is so meticulously perfect. This is what the word used by Bhagwan Sri Krishna is. Athva bahunaitenam kim jnatena tamarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. But a part of me is enough to control the totality of creation. And what is the control? Control is everything is happening according to the perfect plan that I have given. Now, once you accept this, what is the result? Result is your mind will remain at peace. What is the meaning of mind remaining at peace? You are never going against the divine will. So, whatever is coming in your life, it will be taken as the divine blessings. Once you develop this faculty, you have transcended the limitation of intellect. What is the limitation of intellect? Limitation of intellect is logic, reason, analysis. By logic, reason and analysis, no problem of the world is ever solved. Problems of the world are never solved by logic, reason and analysis. There is only one way, and that one way is accept the whole world as your own being. Meaning, when we are able to include everything in the definition of I, then our love for the world will be natural. You must have seen, suppose you happen to go and make a mistake, ask somebody. Suppose there is some wound or some abscess or some fracture or something like that. You go and ask. Now that person who has that, let us say, an abscess, when he starts talking about his abscess, he talks with such great love. You know, Swamiji, what happened, actually it was small cut, and he gives how the birth took place, what were the pains, how it grew, and what are the various modifications. And when it is so bad, then it started becoming, and became so much, and the pus went, and all that. And that day when I went to the doctor, he just gave a cut. You know what happened? The pus was so much strong inside. Similarly, one straight, the stream of pus came and went straight to the mouth of the doctor. In that, he is singing the glory of his that abscess. Now, is it worth talking? But it is mine, isn't it? I have heard this thing, therefore I am telling you. One person came, was telling me, I said, they didn't give some achar or salt, something to the doctor. Kam hai kya namak mirchi? See, ours, everything is good. And we love that. Now, look at the whole world. Be very attentive. Like the Lord looks at the world. What is happening now? We are looking at the world not from the same angle from which the Lord is looking at the world. So, what is really scientific now? Really scientific is looking at the world from the relative standpoint is non-scientific. Looking at the world from the absolute angle is the real scientific vision. And changing this vision is the scientific lifestyle. How important it is. And once we understand this basic principle, then Let us see, are we having anything in this world that we have today because we deserve? None. If we go to the God and say, "Oh Lord, your judgment will be accepted." Why go to the God? We don't want to God to get the judgment or the justice. We want to go to the Lord to get favor, not justice. Because we know with our quality, we don't deserve anything. And yet we have got everything. Think. And therefore, the only way is, let us develop a faculty by which we are able to look at the creation as the Lord is looking at His own creation. And this we do, but on a very small scale. You all must have done it sometime or the other. Your useless children. I remember, now that girl is due to get married. When she was born, a South Indian girl, and that nurse did not allow her father to go inside because of some jagada. So I said, "Okay, Amma, don't allow him, but allow me to go and see how is the baby and all that. You can go, but not that man." I said, "I am not interested. Let him go on my behalf." No. So early morning at about 4 o'clock, he phoned me, "Swamiji, I don't know whether delivery has taken place or not, and the nurse is, very angry with me. I don't know what I have done, and she is becoming very funny, and I am very uneasy. Please come quickly." So I prepared a coffee, and in the thermos, early morning I reached hospital. So she said, "You come inside, not that man." They're all right. I went inside. And I said, that lady, she's that Amma, whose baby I am, 23. This is the baby. And when I saw that baby, hardly maybe about 6 hours old or 5 hours old, was looking like a squirrel. Ugly, dark, and so horrible. So, will you like to hold? I said, no. What is there to hold? Squirrel and hold. And afterwards, I came out, I talked to that Amma. "Amma, baby is very fine and all that." And then my friend, he said, "Swamiji, what is it? How is the baby?" I said, "She's a daughter and she's so cute." A straight lie. And afterwards, when that mother and the daughter came home, and the squirrel will become bigger squirrel, what else? And when 1 or 2 days that baby was, and the father was holding Swamiji, what you told that, she's very cute, it is really cute. And I was telling she's ugly, not cute. But when it is my baby, how beautiful it is. When this world is my expanse, there cannot be any ugliness in this world. Changing our vision to match the vision of the Lord with which He is looking at this world is the only scientific way of living life. And this is how the Lord looks at the world and what is His perception. The synthesis. So in the 10th chapter, it was analysis. In the differences, see the common denominator. Now here, there are no differences, although they appear to be. This synthetic approach of oneness is the ultimate in the scientific approach. And this is what is the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, in this chapter, the teacher will tell us how we should look at this world, or the teacher will tell us how he looks at the world. The other day, somebody asked me one question, Swamiji, can you tell me what exactly it means, the experience of divinity? I said, look here, I cannot tell you, but I can make you imagine and work on. If you can imagine and work on what I am telling you, then you may get the glimpses of the divine experience. What is that? I said, what will be the experience of the space when all the planets are moving, all the things good or bad are happening? What is the experience of the space? That is the experience of the divine presence. Swamiji, means what? I said, means what? Do homework. It is not a laddu you give and this is Paramatma. No, you have to work on that. Or if you want still grosser, what will be the experience of the gold when all the possible ornaments are not yet made out of the gold, and yet all the possible names and forms of the ornaments are contained in the womb of the gold? What will be his attitude towards the born and the unborn ornaments? That is the divine experience. See? This is what is the subject matter of this 11th chapter. So, after Bhagavad Sri Krishna told Arjuna the last word, Athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. But a part of mine is able to take care of the whole world. This is what is the truth. Now, the 11th chapter begins with a question from Arjuna. Arjuna Vacha, Madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sannidam yastvayoktam vajastenam mohoyam vigato mama bhavapyayo hi bhutanam shruto vistarasho maya tvattaha kamalapatraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam evame tadyata tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichhami te rupam aishvaram purushottama manyase yadi tacchakyam maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. When Bhagavad Sri Krishna has told the analytically dissected divinity, because we from the relative standpoint are unable to understand the absolute, because we are so much buried under the load of relativity. See, the other day, one person somewhere asked me, Swamiji, can I get the same happiness as you are having? I said, you can get. What I have to do? You have to stop doing everything. Spiritual life is not doing anything, it is undoing everything. You have become and therefore you are miserable. Stop becoming and remain being. You are that. Swamiji, but with the husband and the children, how can I do? No, you cannot do. Then what is to be done? Shall I separate? From whom? You are never attached to your husband like an attachment 24 hours. It is not. Where it is? As long as you are under the load of relativity, the absolute vision can never be even understood. Therefore, the teacher tells here, Arjuna, if you want to discover this bliss, remember the whole world is expression of the divine will. And before the divine will, there is only one way. And that is what? Submit, surrender yourself totally. Do you know the meaning of surrender? Sar means head. Under means below. Keep your head at the feet of the Lord and discard your perniciously poisonous ego. And this is recognized, understood. You will see that you will have the same experience what the Lord has. And this is how Arjun begins his topic. He says, Madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sajnidam jastva yoktam vachastenam tena mohoyam vigato mama. O Lord, whatever you have told up to the 10th chapter, it is not because I deserve. This is the first step of the liquidation of the ego. First step. I told you. The word used by Arjun is Mad Anugraha. Like, Raga, Anuraga. First there has to be Raga, Anu means Paschat, that follows. Like Lakshmana is called as Ramanuja. First there is Rama, the one who follows is Lakshman. So another name of Lakshmana is the one who follows Rama is Ramanuja. Anugraha means what? First, be very attentive. First, recognize that we are in this world by the divine will. When you recognize this, that our presence in this world is as a result of the divine will, Anugraha will follow. Means what? Then the Lord will take care of us. At this stage, what is happening? I have done this thing, I have done this thing, I have done this thing, and yet why I am miserable? Because you have done everything. Therefore you are miserable. Remove that I. See, please remember, any moment you become depressed, dejected, miserable, it is the hood of the ego which is hissing at the world, and therefore nothing but miseries will be experienced. And the same thing happens even on the spiritual path. Please remember, nothing in this world we get because we deserve. We get in this world something because of the divine love for us. Look at your own children. And look at some children who are extremely deserving. But do we give the things to the extremely deserving children in this world? Or we give the things to the most useless child of ours? In the same manner, the Lord doesn't give anything to us in this world because we deserve. He gives us because He loves us. Friends, when we recognize the divine love that is constantly showering on us, then our love for the world becomes natural. See? Madanugrahaya. O Lord, it is out of sheer compassion for me that you have told me the highest truth. How important it is. See, you must have seen, when these secrets of the different countries are to be taken away, you must have seen in these spy rings, there are normally very beautiful girls employed. And these beautiful girls, they will go to the top officials. And they will start pretending the drama of love. And when they pretend the drama of love, in that slowly, the secrets of the nation, of the departments, they are slowly brought out and revealed. Is it not? Not through logic, not through anything, but through this drama of love. Everything is taken out. Friends, when the drama of love can harvest all the secrets, if you really love the Lord, you will know Him in and through as your being and as the being of everything in this Madanugrahaya paramam. And what is love? Love is acceptance of everything as it is, without wanting to improve the world. You know, one of the diseases on the spiritual path is the desire to improve the world, the desire to change the world. When the desire and to improve the world or change the world can come in our mind? When we have started evaluating the world. And who are you? You are evaluating God's creation. Are you superior than God? Think. There is only one relation, that is scientific, with the world. And that relation is only that of pure love and nothing else. Therefore, friends, love is that which includes everything, rejects nothing. And this understanding is mentioned here as Madanugrahaya paramam. Out of sheer compassion and love for me, O Lord, paramam guhyam, the supreme secret, called as Adhyatma Sanjita. What is the supreme secret? Supreme secret is that when we are able to recognize the divine presence in and through every event of our life, what will happen? Slowly, events will become uneventful and the divinity will become the primary experience of our life. There is a story in the life of Kabir, the great mystic saint, and equally mystic saint Janabai. He heard about her, that there is one most illiterate servant of Namdev, a great saint who lived for 115 years in Maharashtra, and he moved throughout India. His compositions are also seen in the Guru Granth Sahib, a great devotee of the Lord. His disciple, she was absolutely illiterate, therefore perfectly pure. With the literacy, the purity reduces. So, when he went to see Kabir Maharaj, I heard about that lady, let me see. So, when he went to that village, he asked, where is that Janabai? I want to see her. So, one man told, see, those two ladies are fighting. Out of that, one is Janabai. So, he went and he said, why are you fighting? Fighting, those cow dung cakes are mine and this lady is telling it is mine. Therefore, we are fighting, pulling hair of each other. Then Kabirji said, how can you say there is no name or label that this is yours and this is hers? You are unnecessarily fighting. No, name is there. What is the name? Lift any cow dung cake and put to your ear. You will listen Vitthala, Vitthala, Vitthala even in that dead cow dung cake. And Kabir Maharaj did that. Friends, when your mind is soaked in the divine experience, anything that you touch becomes perfectly divine. This is not scientific. This is loving. See? So, O Lord, Madanugrahaya, by sheer compassion for me, you have given the most secret of life. And what is the secret of life? This is the secret of life. Love without reason. Don't love with reason. You will have reasonable love. Reasonable love is not absolute love. In reasonable love, you may get only reason why she loves you. And reasonable love is only relative, it is not absolute love. Therefore, Guijam Adhyatma Sannitam, you have told me the most supreme secret of life. And because of what was the secret of life, therefore, everything in this world is an expression of the divine will. This is the secret of life. Normally, whenever we think about scientific, what we imagine is only the youngsters with the tight jeans and funny kind of write-ups on the t-shirts. They are the modern people, most scientific. That is not. Here the teacher gives. What is the most scientific thing? Everything in this world is an expression of perfection. Discover that perfection. To be yourself. And from that point of view, look at the world. In this world, you will see nothing but perfection. Therefore, you told me the supreme secret, and yastva yoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. And because of listening to your words of wisdom, my delusion has gone. Friends, this is the strong sign of delusion. Whenever we feel, I think I have understood, you are on the wrong path. Truth is never understood. You have to stand under the truth. It can never be understood. Because understanding is in the faculty of mind or the intellect. And the truth is beyond the mind and the intellect. Therefore, you cannot understand. And what is the biggest obstacle for every intelligent, educated person? He is trying to understand. Once I was in Pittsburgh, that professor told me after the lecture, you have really told all the concepts so perfectly well, sir. I said, sir, I did not talk about concepts. Are you a concept? Yes. You are somebody's husband is a concept. You are somebody's wife is a concept. You are intelligent is a concept. This time, I was coming from Badrinath. We had a lot of fun. And in that, the discussion came up. The brains and the beauty never go together. This was the discussion concluding. And then something happened. So I told one of the Amma, I said, Amma, you are so beautiful. Swamiji, what do you mean? I said, look here, I am praising you that you are beautiful. I know what you mean. I don't have brains. I said, okay, I am sorry. Then after some time I said, hey, you are really intelligent. You mean I am not beautiful? See, the mind will never function properly. So, when you understand, it is a concept. Be attentive. When you experience, it is not a concept. Be very, very, very attentive. You come in contact with any object. You take a flower and look at the flower. This is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You are one with the absolute reality. But we don't do that. We take the object, look at it, and start bombarding the projections of thoughts. And as a result, the clouds of thoughts cover the prominent divinity. And the truth is lost. See? Madanugrahaya paramam. This supreme secret, you told me. And I understood it. And as a result, all my delusion has gone. The moment you say your delusion has gone, it is very much present. Delusion can go if it is a reality, something can come and go. It was never there. And you will see after some time, few verses, when the truth is revealed to Arjuna in its entirety, in its synthetic aspect, Arjuna gets frightened. Earlier he said, now I am not deluded. A non-deluded person never gets afraid of anything. It is the delusion because of which we are afraid of everything. Why we are afraid of death? Because we are deluded that we are going to die. See? Why we are afraid of the unknown person? Because we don't know him and therefore maybe he will trouble us. Therefore there is a fear of deception. Wherever there is fear, there is delusion. Therefore when Arjuna is telling here, Mohoyam vigato mama, oh Lord, all my delusion has gone. Please remember, these two things to be clearly understood and recognized. First, recognition of the reality as one's own self. Two, recognition of the same reality in the objective experience. Unless these two things are completely attained, till then we are not out of the limitations of relativity. And therefore, after listening to the 10th chapter, Arjuna says, now I have understood everything. Wherever I see a tree, there is Ashwatha, there you are Krishna. What about the babul tree? I don't think, he never told that in babul tree you are. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So among the Pandavas, where there is Dhananjaya, there Krishna is. What about Nakul Sahadev? Bhima? Oh, Bhima. Among all the mountains, the Himalaya you are. I understood. Himalaya is the God. What about the other mountains? They are not God. Then you have understood nothing. My God, the 10th chapter has gone wrong. 10th chapter has not gone wrong. Your understanding has gone wrong. See how important it is. That is why in the Kaivalyopanishad, in Kenopanishad, when the teacher reveals the truth to the student, Anya devata viditat atha aviditat adhi, the truth is other than the known and unknown. The student says, sir, I have understood very well. What you understood? I told you, truth cannot be known, truth cannot be understood, it cannot be seen. How did you understand? But if it is a material science, you tell your teacher, yes sir, I have understood Pythagoras perfectly well. The teacher is very happy. But when you tell the same statement to the spiritual teacher, he will give you one bang. Because that is a delusion. Mohoyam vigato mama. Therefore, no wise man ever says that I am wise. It is the other wise people who certify the wise man that he is wise. So, mohoyam vigato mama. Now, what are the things that he has told me? This he says in the next 2-3 verses that we'll take in our tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.